What's up, everybody? This is Demise for Responsible Gaming, doing episode 165 of the backlog. Today, we're gonna make enchantments, auras. Spoiler alert. So, I have pretty specific designs in mind. So let's go. Let's just do it. Do I have a base? No, I don't. It's fine. So we're gonna start with that. We're gonna make the red one. Red one. I think it's gonna be one in a red. It's gonna be, oh god, enchantment aura. Enchant creature. And oh, by the way, this is an extra bonus card from last week. Refreshing Cove, personify one green, so you remember you can play them as morph, and then for a green +2/+2. Go back, check out the previous episode if you want to see a bit more about the mechanic, but this one is for free. Back on the topic, Ancient Creature says, actually very good question, is the template Enchant first and Flash second? I do think so. I should have left that for later to surprise you. When, yes, no, when enchanted creature dies, deal 4 damage to target creature. So basically, there's an N here. Yes, there is. Basically yes. You can do 4 damage instant speed for 2, except you need to put that on a creature that dies. So the funny bit with all this is I'm really working backwards. I should have given you the exact process of thinking that led me to this card, actually. Where should I roll back? No, okay, it's fine. So yeah, you can do several things with this. You can instant speed target a creature that dies, and then it's gonna enchant it. The creature dies, you deal 4 damage. So it's more or less a 4 damage instant speed, but you need to have a creature die to do it. So in that way, it's like morbid. But somebody can destroy the creature that you're trying to target in response, potentially. That being said, you wouldn't. They would have to destroy something that's gonna die. So it's actually not really much of a downside with instant speed. Very interesting. But you can also put it on a creature preemptively and be like, listen, if this dies, I'm dealing 4 to something, which is pretty cool. But that's still not as good as a spell that says deal 4 no matter what, except if you want to mind game your opponent. That can be pretty cool. What else? That's mostly it. I didn't realize that the downside of dealing 4 if you target a creature instant speed, so that basically the spell is morbid. I didn't realize that the downside was not very much of one, because if the person really wants to fizzle your spell, they still have to spend a card on making something happen that was just about to happen anyways, which is pretty bad. But they still fizzle your spell. So if they really want to save their dude, and your dude is about to die, you target your dude with the enchant, then they can just kill your dude again and make sure theirs survive. Which in a way transforms a removal, or whatever they could do to remove your creature, into a save theirs, which is kind of weird and interesting. So pretty weird, actually. Pretty weird. What I wanted to do is I wanted to check how can we deal 4 damage? Look at that, the search is already there. How can we do 5 damage and how much does it cost, so that I can maybe evaluate the possibility of putting 5 damage on my spell. And actually, our Storm is 4, but Brimstone Volley is pretty similar, except it does 3 no matter what, and it targets players. It costs 3, and it has Morbid, which actually our card doesn't. Our card just has Morbid. The card is very safe, more or less. So I'll try and roll back. What we can do is I can try and roll back for the second card so that you can have a better idea of my way of thinking. I'm gonna check quickly the templating on Flash and Aura. That would be here. I think that's the way it's written. Enchant Creature Flash. And oh no, Flash Enchant Creature. Okay. Why is something is weird? Are Aura not saying Enchant Creature anymore? Oh my god. Oh my god. Am I really that outdated? I mean, I see it all the time. It's just I just didn't register, I guess. I didn't register. Flash, Enchant Creature, Vehicle. Okay. Oh, did I type Enchanted Creature when I was doing my search? That's probably why. Also, I didn't remember that this would tell me all the time the reminder. It's probably because Flash has its own line of text. No, wait, they just get 2 lines of text? Wow. They really put the reminder all the time, huh? Weird. Okay. Anyways, so here you go. Here you go. Here you go. We're gonna have no. This, yes. We're gonna flash here. I can probably turn on the reminder text, yes. And when entered a creature dies, deal 4 damage to target creature. End of the story for now. Well, no, we're still considering getting 5 damage in. I don't think so. Mostly because the combination of upsides and downside is real. You can, well, Morbid. It kind of is a spell that does nothing if nothing dies. So it's kind of 1 in a red, Morbid, deal 4, not Morbid, wait with that card in your hand. Plus, it can still be countered by all sorts of ways. Not that many ways and not very efficient ways, but still, it does need Morbid. So maybe we can do 5. It's scary. 5 damage. I mean, there's many environments for which 5 isn't really a... actually, I don't love it. Because, tell you what, it's not only a Morbid spell, it's also something that if you want to invest on a creature, you can just put on that creature, and it is now and now you have a removal, but it's a removal kind of later too. I don't know. It might be that 5 is reasonable, but I don't feel like it, because I don't know, I see that sitting on a creature on the board, and the idea that you can just destroy a 5-drop with your 2 mana later on is pretty annoying. 2 is really cheap to 5 for 5 damage, even if it's pretty darn conventional, conditional. I actually didn't keep digging my 5 damage search over here. So as an initial cost, sacrifice an artifact your creature. It's still 4 damage, 4 mana. So 4 mana and an artifact, and you can deal 5. It's also player though. Actually, roast is... What is roast again? Combust. Oh, hello. Oh, combust is white or blue. Devouring Flames is creature planeswalker and you return a land to your hand and it's 3. Explosive Impact is 6, but we mostly want creature. Fiery Conclusion, sacrifice a creature, 5 damage to target creature. So see, you need to sacrifice a creature as a cost. That's kind of a high cost. Was Roast only 4? Trying to look for some. Oh, Roast. There you go. 5 without flying. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. 5 without flying. Still fantastic removal spell, isn't it? Oh man. I mean, sorcery speed though, but damn. Okay, I'm gonna keep it as 4. Okay, we'll keep it as 4 for now, and if anybody wants to complain, they may feel free to do so. So I'm gonna roll it back and explain to you kind of how I got there. We're gonna make a second card, and it's gonna be the blue one. So strangely enough, I felt like revisiting the spell. I'm gonna show you that spell. Actually, full disclosure, I went through my design vault and I looked at what I had written on there, and I saw oh, interesting, and I saw Enchant creature. When creature dies, draw a card, and I read that and I was like, well, that's just weird and boring and not even finished of a description of the card. I don't understand what I meant, and so I started thinking along the lines of Fate Foretold, and so I wondered, can I make it 2 cards? So when an enchanted creature dies, draw 2 cards. That is pretty close to Fate Foretold in the end, because if you look at there, Fate Foretold is when enters the battlefield, draw a card. When creature dies, draw a card as well. So mine is only 2 at the end, but mine has Flash, which is great because it's going to help us in some situations. What's the word? Mitigate the downsides of having your Enchant fizzle, right? Therefore, it becomes somewhat of a divination for 2, except you need Morbid, which is pretty powerful. You might need a blue for that, I guess. That being said, I don't even know. You probably do. I could be a weirdo and say, alright, those cards are red, and they are both uncommon. It's kind of interesting. And it actually prevents from splashing a 1 and a blue, draw 2 cards in other colors. That being said, 1 and a blue, draw 2 card with Morbid is not imminently splashable. I mean, it's not worse than a 3 and a blue, draw 2 cards. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, I guess those exist, so they are splashable. Not everybody splash drawing cards, I suppose. So never mind that. It doesn't really matter, but it still makes it harder to cast. It still makes it a little more palatable that you pay 2 and you draw 2 cards instant speed. Because keep in mind, if each player plays a bear, a 2/2 or a 2-drop, and they just attack into each other, boom, there you go. You get your 2 mana, draw 2 cards, provided that it's not always what you want to do on turn 3. My point being, it can be very early on, very easily activated. What I could do is check out if there are Morbid draw spells. I don't remember that being a thing. Was Morbid even in blue? Was Morbid black and green? Was Morbid Christine? No. And Morbid Abinchance? Yeah, no. Was Morbid a black and green ability? No, it was definitely also red, and green was let's see what green, no, blue. There was no blue, so we wouldn't have an example. Are you kidding me? There was one red morbid card? Wow, I have no idea that it was so little. I have a fair picture, mental picture, that only black and green were using it. Not even that much, actually. This is amazing. I'm very surprised there's that little morbid cards. There's 20 of them, and there's probably like 3, 4, 5 in different sets. Wow. Very surprised. Very surprised, especially since I would have thought Morbid was a pretty easy to use, pretty solid mechanic, but apparently not so much, or just not widely used for some reason. Either way, I guess. So now it's making it a little harder to evaluate what we can do instant speed drawing cards. I mean, it is instant speed drawing cards, so it's pretty powerful as it is. So I guess that. I mean, divination is not instant speed either, I just realized. Drawing 2 cards instant speed cost what, 4? But see, forcing Morbid to just give instant speed to a plain divination that way is bad. I don't think that's good. It's just not good at all. So you have to get some sort of downside. Now, is this too much of an upside? I don't know. I think it's probably fine. And I meant when I did red, I meant to bump that to 5, but I don't think it's quite needed. Yeah, those are hard to evaluate, to be honest. They're pretty hard to evaluate. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it as that. I could start doing like a black one, a green one, etc. and so on, but screw that. I've already done 4 cards last week. You know what? If I don't get something in time next week, I might do more of those flash cards. I'm not doing 4 cards this week. Screw that. I work enough as it is for my day job. Yeah, those are. You could see those exist. I think common is fine. Definitely need to test those. They might actually be powerful. 4 damage instant speed with a couple downsides is still pretty darn good. 2 mana, draw 2 cards with a couple downsides, pretty darn good as well still. Is that it? I'm almost tempted to keep them blue and red actually, but I won't. I mean, what else is there to say? I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Playtest. I think those definitely need playtest. They also open to a huge cycle, and I mean, there's lots of cards of the same kind that could be done, and let's keep in mind that for all that matters, Wizards is definitely trying to make auras a thing that is played in limited, or perhaps in constructed, if that was possible at all, even though it's not really. And I get them. Like, enchants are a thing that is different. I mean, they are a card type, right? And still they're not getting played very much, and this is too bad. This is because of the targeting and the fizzling rules, that they are too dangerous inherently. So it's usually pretty good if you can find a way to mitigate that. Oh, I forgot one thing. Those cards, oh yeah, strategically, that's very important. strategically, if you don't want that to fizzle, and that's going to be a problem actually. If you don't want those cards to fizzle, you can just target an opponent's creature, in which case they just really can't make them fizzle. Especially if that, I mean, because that means destroying their own creature just to prevent your card to happen. So this makes those pretty darn good, because as long as you have a target on your opponent, they can't really interact with it. That being said, it still makes it so that you need to target a creature of your opponent, and that creature needs to die. So yeah, never mind. It's kind of the same problem actually, because initially I was saying, well, you're targeting something that's about to die, so that's going to be a waste of their resource to kill that thing, to fizzle your spell. So in that frame of thinking, it doesn't matter that it's their creature. If their creature were going to die and they really want to fizzle the spell, they can kill their own creature. Their creature were about to die. So it's pretty pretty mind-boggling. But I think it's a thing. It might make them good enough to be uncommons at 1 in the blue. That's possible. I don't really know. I mean, you know, sometimes I feel like cards are not uncommons just because they're that much better than commons, but they're uncommons kind of like rare because of their ceiling. The ceiling on a, you know, even if there's a lot of conditions, let's say you get a, you know, 1 blue mana, draw 3 cards, or even draw 2 cards with like 2 or 3 conditions that are realistically possible to achieve, it's still going to be an uncommon, even though it's all in all potentially a bad card depending on the condition. But the fact is that in some situation you'll get your 2 cards for 1 mana, and that needs to be an uncommon or a rare. That cannot be a common, even though maybe those situations only happen like a quarter of the time. So there's a bit of, it's kind of a complexity and a power ceiling kind of thing. So it's not as much the average as it is the ceiling sometimes, I think. And then there's all the types of cards that are very good because they are very condensed in their power level, with a high floor, low ceiling, strong average, and then the card is uncommon because it's just solid. But I think there is a bit of both. Same for the rares. Like some rares are very stupid simple, and they're still rare because they're very dense on power level. Some rares are rares because sometimes they do nothing, sometimes they wreck the board, etc. and so on. Yeah, like a common cannot, you know, be an 8 power trampler unless it costs 8 or this is Zendika or something. Anyways, I think you get my point. I will ship those. I will find some delightful pictures and well-suited names, and I will publish them tomorrow on the blog. This is a blog. Oh god, blogs are such a thing of the past that I can barely call my website articles blog. Yeah, it's a blog. You will see the video pretty soon on YouTube. Search for Responsible Gaming. By the way, I never do this, but do check out all the series that I have over there. I do plenty more than Magic. You might enjoy some of them. And actually, specific plug, I'm loving the series that's called The Backlog that I have right now, and I'm going through my Steam library and I'm digging. So far I have something like 30 videos and I'm well within the bees, and it's super fun to see the wide breadth of completely random games that that you probably have in your Steam library but never run. It's kind of a fun thing to do. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. Back to Magic though. Tomorrow, Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit /custom magic. Do come say hi, give me your feedback, like and subscribe, do all of those things. And I'll see you next week, 466. See you next time. Play responsibly.